Happy Friday, or Saturday, or whenever it is that you view this. It was a really beautiful day today. The sun came out, the sky was blue. Yeah, as you can see, it's still cold. There's quite a bit of snow on the ground still. It's pretty typical. Although actually where I am regionally, it's pretty neat. We'll get what are called Chinooks, and it actually happens in a couple other places in the world, but they're not called Chinooks. But anyway, so I'm in the plains, and the plains are next to mountains, and the mountains are next to the sea. So what will happen is some air will come from the sea, and it'll be, oh man, I'm gonna mess this up. It'll be low pressure. It'll go over the mountains, and then more or less, I'm really messing this up. I guess I have to brush up on my weather patterns. But anyway, the warm air from the sea, the lower pressure air from the sea, lower pressure or higher pressure, will come over the mountains and then swoosh, go across the plains, and we see it. There'll be like this arch of in the clouds. It'll be all cloudy and then just clear skies over the mountains. That's when you know Chinook's coming. And then swoosh, it'll come through, and all the snow will freaking melt. And we'll have a couple of really beautiful days. And then we'll get another cold front, and then it'll snow again. So the major air pressure changes give a lot of people headaches, but I really love them. If you're unfamiliar with what this is, it's after Remembrance Day, but in Canada we wear poppies to commemorate the fallen soldiers, our fallen warriors. The idea is that as long as we remember what we fought for, hopefully we will never forget, and hopefully we never have to have another giant world war. So that's the hope anyway. So I brought my runes. I'm gonna do a rune reading for you guys. I've been yeah, like I said, I've been feeling pretty good. Oh man, I forgot to bring it out. I finished the bag that I was working on. I didn't bring it out though, so I can't show you, so sorry, next time. God within, God without, how shall I ever be in doubt? There's no place where I may go and not there see God's face, not know. I am God's vision and God's ears. So the harvest of my years, I am the sower and the sown, God's self-unfolding and God's own. First rune for today is Kano, Kanas. This is fire. I've learned actually the root of this word means dragon or serpent as well, and that's interesting. Fire. Fire can be a destructive force, or it can be a creative force. It can be both. The idea of this rune is, hold on. Okay, sorry. Fire! Like I was saying, this is a creative force. It can break things down into different elements, or it can forge things into something stronger or better than it was before. It represents the torch. So man's will for creation focused into a point, thus the torch. Sometimes it could denote children. right? That's a creative force. Sometimes it can denote just crafts in general, making things, arts. Yeah, depends on the context. Depends on the context. Second rune. Berkana. Nice. Berkana, whatever. It's the namesake of my channel. This is the Earth Goddess. This is... Oh, okay, I'll add that in a moment. This is the process of becoming, of growing. This is, this represents the moment when after a period of gestation, the seed is ready to burst forth and grow. It represents birch trees. And what's really cool about how these just came out is fire and then birch. So birch trees are one of the first species, if not the first species, to start growing in a region after fire has swept through. So is that not beautiful or what? That's kind of a nice little synchronicity. Something also important about Berkanas is that you have to have fuel for the fire. You know, we have this saying about cars, like, and humans, like, you can't run on empty, right? You need to have fuel to, you know, actually have something to burn in the combustion process. So it's necessary for there to be rest, so you can, like, actually gather that fuel. And it's interesting that we are in the winter season. Well, as far as I'm concerned, up in Canada, it's already winter. Okay, we skip right past fall. We have like 3 weeks of fall and then it's winter. So, but in the cyclical nature of things, this is the time when we need to have our wood and be ready to burn it for the winter. We need to have already been cutting away and getting rid of the rot and the dead and bringing the firewood in, so we have the firewood to burn. And then birch is more of a springtime kind of rune because of that, like, bursting forth and growing process. But that doesn't mean that you can't have internal growth and internal becoming and internal bursting forth, right? I also think it's really cool, the rune itself. So it's mountains, right? Or the mother's breasts, or the other rune that represents the seed is a diamond shape. So it's the diamond having cracked open. And the third rune, what is the third message? Ah, Ansus. Okay. I like that. Okay, so Ansus. This represents a sovereign divine ancestor. Typically it's interpreted as Odin, but it could be, it doesn't have to be Odin. It depends on your personal beliefs, right? But anyway, this is the rune for wisdom, for messages, for using our intellect. It is the rune of inspiration. It's a reminder that wisdom sometimes comes from surprising sources, like the trickster archetype. You know, the Native Americans have their trickster god, the raven and the coyote. We have Loki. And, you know, don't really worship God of Chaos, but the God of Chaos ends up being the cause or the instrument by which we gain some of our magical instruments. It's a little bit repetitive, but for example, Mjolnir. Thor wouldn't have Mjolnir unless Loki hadn't have done what he'd done. Odin gains his spear through one of Loki's actions as well. Nala, no. Hey, manners. Manners. Happy Friday. Stop. She's a little hyper because Mama needs to walk her. But anyway, I think it's a really nice reminder right now, actually, that it might seem like there's a lot of chaos and there might seem to be a lot of destruction, but the fire of that chaos, that is where a sword gains its tempered edge. The fire of that chaos can be used, and you can grow from it. You can gain wisdom from lessons and things that come up. Things that come up that are challenging. This is an opportunity for us to use our intellect and grow our intellect, but not just hey, leave it. Not just our like intellectual left brain way of looking at things, also our creative right brain. So that and like that's freaking perfect. I love it when the runes do this. Okay, so you've got your intellectual mind, right? Ansuz. You got your logic, you got your ordering things, you know, you've got learning, right? You can read, you can absorb information and stuff, and gain wisdom from surprising situations. And then on the other side of the reading, you have your creative inspiration, your creative acts, and in the middle of those two, we have a rune of becoming, where these two things meet, where you have the creative spark, that power, and you have inspiration, and you bring them together, and if you're able to synthesize these two sides of your brain, you can, that's the essence, that is the essence of awakening and of... The dogs are distracting me a bit, I'm sorry. They're playing though. Dogs need to play. Dog needs to run. Dog needs to dig. Dog is a dog. Humans need to play. Humans need to create. Humans need to laugh and share stories and share wisdom and share community, and all of these things are important. And I'm sure this ties into my rune reading somehow. I've got a lot on my mind, how can you tell? Hey? So, it might seem like there's lots of fire. It might seem like there's chaos. But we can always use these lessons to strengthen ourselves, to temper our own edges, to gain wisdom, and it's important to leave room for allowing. That's the other part of it. None of these runes are about taking like extreme action. Kano says you have to rest in order to have the fuel for the fire. Berkana says that after a period of gestation, then the seeds burst forth. And there's always a continual process of this happening on its own passively. There's nothing that you have to necessarily do in order for this to happen. You just have to be. And then Ansu's is slightly more of a masculine concept of the intellect. But even with Ansu's, it's not necessarily asking you to take any actions. It's about analyzing things. Okay, I guess that technically is kind of an action, but it's about an intellectual understanding of the passive feminine aspects and their importance. We're at a place in our society, in the world today, where we've taken what it is to be feminine and what it is to be masculine, and we've destroyed both of them. And I'm still working this out in my own head. I'm still trying to figure this all out for myself. So that's what I'm picking up with these runes. It's all tied together. But where I was going with that is, if the masculine principle is to do, if it is to take action and put things into an orderly, linear thing, the feminine principle is to be, create. And in order to be a healthy individual, we have to have both of these balanced within ourselves. And that is what allows for the process of becoming to really take root and grow. Man, I hope that makes sense. Okay, yeah, I love you guys. Have a good weekend. I just got a new tarot deck, so I will definitely be doing some tarot videos very soon. It was important to me, though, that I sort some things out in my own brain. And that I came to a deeper understanding of all of this stuff and what exactly I want to pass on to you guys, so that I don't transmit more confusion, you know what I mean? In saying that, I sound confused, but I took a break from doing the tarot videos because I needed some time to really work through some internal processes. So that's why I haven't been doing them, and that's why I slowed down on the rune videos as well. But here we are, and I really hope that you guys understand, like, I don't make these videos with like the assumption that I know everything and that I'm a perfectly enlightened being or anything like that. These videos are really a testament to my own growing and awakening process. And you know, I'm on a quest for truth. I'm on a quest for truth. And man, is truth uncomfortable. Truth is really uncomfortable. So that's all I got for you today. Yeah. If you'd like your own personal rune reading, by the way, definitely email me. I have had the pleasure of doing a few of those over the last month or so, and I really love it. I really love doing them, and getting the feedback after doing them. It's an honor. Truly, it is an honor. And I would very much like to help to build a community around seeking truth, and really it's my goal to help empower people to be their own priest and priestess, their own divination expert, their own empowered being. So, yeah, that's all I got.